Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very interesting video to get into because we have some Switch 2 updates, but we also have some, maybe like something we can decipher that might be pointing at a Nintendo Direct coming this week. And on top of that, or maybe a little bit before that actually, Nintendo is in trouble. And they're in trouble because of the Switch 2. Yeah, what's going on here? Let's go ahead and get right into this video. So yes, I'm having a lot of fun with the Switch 2, but Nintendo, let's get the ball rolling here. New games, I guess just new games really. I was going to say new features, new updates, pretty much new anything, but just some new games. Third party, first party, hell, let's just get fifth and sixth party out. Does it exist? Who can say for sure? We have a very interesting video today. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram so we can keep our amazing communities growing. And stay tuned to the end of the video so you can learn how to win some eShop gift cards or some Switch 2s. Now let's get into it. So we'll start with a couple updates first to get these out of the way, and then we'll get into the bigger stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Switch 2 restocks. Yes, we know restocks are going on pretty much weekly at this point, and anytime I learn about them, I like to let you know what's going on so you can get a Switch 2 without having to pay scalpers, because scalpers can burn in hell. That's right. Starting on July 1st, Best Buy will be having a restock in stores. I'm not sure if this is for every Best Buy, so just go on their website and then put in your location and see if there's a store near you having one. Also, I don't know if this is going to be like only in store or maybe online as well, but it's something to keep in mind if you haven't got a Switch 2 yet. Now, something surprisingly that is still happening. We know Nintendo did their own almost like a lottery system where you could sign up interest with them and then you could buy a Switch 2 through them. They said they're going to continue to do this, I think, for like the rest of the year or maybe the rest of the summer or something. They are still sending out emails to people saying, hey, it's your turn to buy a Switch 2. And a good majority of these people already have gotten a Switch 2. So if you don't want to go through the anxiety of, in-store restocks or something, and you signed up to Nintendo, they're still sending out those emails. So check your spam folder and you might have an opportunity that way. Now quickly, let's talk about Game Chat. Have you used this feature? That's actually the first question I have to ask you. Are you guys using Game Chat? I have not used Game Chat a single time since I got my Switch 2. The reason why is I really don't have friends to use it with. But I know a lot of other people are using it, and it seems, for the most part, to be working. Something I was always curious about is, do you just use Game Chat forever? Like, if you were, say, playing Mario Kart World, and you and your friends stayed up for 30 hours playing it for the entire time, could you just use Game Chat? Could you break a world record, like the longest time using Game Chat of all time? Or, what's the cutoff point here? There's a very popular YouTuber, you probably heard of him if you're into this whole Nintendo thing, Nathaniel Bandy, and they tested this out pretty much. A single Game Chat session on the Nintendo Switch 2 can run for up to 24 hours before automatically being closed. All users in the chat will receive a warning 30 minutes before the room's closure, and will receive subsequent warnings at 5 minutes and 1 minute before the 24-hour limit. Yes, you can just launch another one right after, but why is there a timer? It does not make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you. I know this isn't even that big of a deal, but I find it pretty interesting regardless. Now that we got the baby news out of the way, that's right, that was for babies. If you enjoyed that news, you're a baby. Go watch Paw Patrol and rewatch that news. Why am I doing this? You guys are my audience, my subscribers. Why am I being mean to you right now? Well, maybe it's because I'm mad at Nintendo. That's right, we're about to revolt against Nintendo. But we need somebody to be the first one to do it. Well, Nintendo is in trouble in Brazil. And the reason why they're in trouble, you could probably guess if you think of the one thing that Nintendo said and people are like, whoa, what do you mean? What's going on here? A Brazilian agency formally notifies Nintendo over console breaking EULA clause. And to simplify it quickly, Nintendo basically said if you alter your console, I don't know if there's some things you can do and some things you can't do, because I've been using the secret web browser, some little hacks to make my internet faster. I don't think that really matters at all. But essentially emulation and obviously using the MIG switch, and I'm sure there's some other things, but they will break your console. Now, you can still use a console, you can still play all your games that you have. You cannot connect your console to the internet. So, it's not technically breaking the console, but still, it's not a good thing. While the popularity of the Nintendo Switch 2 is evident in Brazil, some of the provisions of its end-user license agreement have reportedly caught the attention of Procon SP, the Sao Paulo-based branch of Brazil's Consumer Protection and Defense Program. As pointed out by Technoblog, Nintendo maintaining the ability to terminate user accounts and to render its consoles permanently inoperable without giving a valid reason is a violation of the nation's Consumer Protection Code section whatever, which under its own language seeks to meet consumer needs and respect their dignity, health, and safety, to protect their economic interests and improve their quality of life, and ensure transparency and harmony in consumer relations. Another supposed legal clash reportedly raised by blah 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 is provision prohibiting consumers from filing lawsuits against Nintendo. The official notification had reportedly been sent to Nintendo on June 26, and reports say that Nintendo has officially agreed to officially respond to Procon SP's legal concern with 20 days of the date. And then this article makes a very great point, another issue why this is such a big deal. The license agreement language has caused other problems in the used console market, as customers have been warned against buying used Switch 2 consoles due to the possibility of Nintendo having already rendered them permanently inoperable. So there's a lot going on here, right? On the service level, you say, well, hey, that's their right. If you emulate or you hack it, that's your own fault. And it's not like I'm gonna go out of my way to waste my $500 that I spent on this damn console. But I feel like once you buy something, it's yours, you know? And as we get further and further into the future, that's just not the case. This is why, you know, the whole arguments and conversation about game key cards is such a big deal. People want to own the things they buy. And I'm right there with you. You know, I still collect DVDs and Blu-rays. I buy physical games if the option's there. I don't care that much about game key cards because once you download it, you know, it's there. You have a physical cartridge. You can still sell it. You can do whatever you want with it. But this makes you feel like you don't own your Nintendo Switch 2. If they can brick it or make it inoperable, why did I spend the money if you're still in control of the product? I don't really have an argument like on their side. You know, I always like to look at things from both sides. Like, well, this is a reason and this is a reason. Both valid. From Nintendo's point of view, why does it matter? It doesn't affect them in any real way. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Some countries have different laws than we have here in America. I think it's in Europe. They have like their right to repair and the whole thing with Apple where they had to include a charger, I believe, or they had to make the charger USB-C instead of the lightning cable to where everybody can use it. So there's different laws for different countries. Brazil is a huge, huge market for Nintendo. Massive. I don't know if they sold the Switch 2 there. I want to say they did directly. So if they can make a big point about this and take it to court, I don't know if this will affect other countries as well. But this is very, very interesting because this is the first instance we've seen of somebody saying, no, what you're doing is not right. And we're going to argue against that. I like when people stand up to the big corporations. Like, yes, I love Nintendo. I don't like a lot of their practices. I'll always support them because it's the console I've grown up with. It's the one that I am so nostalgic for. You know, it's a big part of my life. It's truly like my damn job to talk about Nintendo stuff. I don't really like a lot of stuff they do, though. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's wiggle. Pretty good wiggle, huh? I know. It's just what I do. Let's wiggle into the next segment. There are rumors, multiple rumors, and reports and leaks about a new Nintendo Direct. We have some information about a Switch 2 game getting an announcement actually tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow might be July 1st. I believe it is. People are thinking this points at a Nintendo Direct. What kind of Nintendo Direct? We'll talk about in a moment. So WWE 2K25 just made this announcement, and they say you never know when the next match will begin. Be ready to throw down anytime, anywhere, announcement coming soon, right? I think they might be playing copyrighted music in the background, but we'll just fast forward, blah, blah, blah. I think it's about right here. Listen to the sound effect. So yeah, that was the Switch 2 Joy-Cons. This is definitely an announcement for the Nintendo Switch 2. Will this be the release, like shadow drop on the first? I'm not seeing it. I think this is a release date announcement. A lot of people are thinking this might point at a partner showcase or a partner direct happening this week. Maybe they'll announce it today for tomorrow. I don't know. Or maybe tomorrow they'll announce it for Wednesday or Thursday, but I could see this being in a partner showcase. But something I was thinking about moving forward for the Switch 2 generation, what if Nintendo stopped like indie showcase, partner showcase, mini directs? What if there's just Nintendo directs and they just show whatever they want to show off? Like, do I think that will actually happen? Probably not, but I could see it just be like a Nintendo Direct. They never tell you what kind it's going to be or what's happening. Certain games will get their own direct, like Mario Kart World or Donkey Kong Bonanza. But then there'll just be a Nintendo Direct, and we'll get indie games in there, we'll get some third-party stuff, we'll get some new first-party stuff, they might make some movie announcements, or will they just say, here is an indie showcase and a partner showcase, or a mini Direct and a partner Direct? I don't know. I just have a strong feeling we get a Nintendo Direct this month, because there's so many questions unanswered, so it's like, I kind of want an indie showcase because I want to see Hollow Knight Silksong, but I really want a partner Direct because I want to see some third-party stuff. But I really would like to see some more first-party stuff, but what really else does Nintendo need to tell us? Like, pretty much every month we have a new first-party game coming out, so sure, does Nintendo need to show off 15 farming simulators? Maybe, that happens a lot in Directs. So it's like, I don't know if we're going to get any real big Nintendo Directs to map out the rest of the year. Maybe one in September, like a first-party one. So that really just leaves any Directs and partner showcases, and then maybe a mini Direct. So why not just put all of those into one Direct? I could see something happening, definitely because of this wrestling game. And this is cool, man. This is the first WWE game since 2018. We know how that one turned out on the Switch, but that game actually is playable now on the Switch too. It's kind of poetic in a way, right? Now that WWE 2K18 is playable on a Nintendo console, which is the Switch 2, we're going to fast forward to 2025 and bring out the new one now. You got to play that one? Finally? Oh well, here's another one. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. If you made it to this part of the video, hit the like and subscribe button. Follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram. Comment to help the algorithm. And every single Saturday, I give away eShop gift cards. Every single week in videos. And I'm going to ship out a Switch 2 next month and more as the year goes on. So just do all that. Support the community. And I will help you guys back out as much as possible because I love my community. And weekly streams are going on. I might stream tonight. I don't know. And you guys know me. I will see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.